Hello, you're very welcome to Maroon News. In today's programme, Dan Deneen visits Tom and Noni homes to hear the story of their early years. We have some club news. Dan Shanahan and Breatha Hearn tell us about 45, and Father Simon gives us a thought for the week. Now we'll have Dan talking to Tom and Noni homes about their early years.
The Green Ushla. Few little Irish words for the start. It's the 18th of the 1st, 2012. Catherine Buckley and myself are here in Capanook. Capanook, as I was corrected now, Capanook. In the home of the Tom and Noni homes to have a fireside chat and to record the times gone by. Knowing this wonderful couple as I do, I can say with certainty that there is much more than one recording session needed here. And we're looking forward to the next later in the year, please God. And just say to Tom, would you like to tell us of what day you were born, Tom, or the date you were born? Maybe you know it.
The 1st of the 1st, 1924.
Off the top of your head.
Yeah. And I have a grandchild, the same birthday.
Oh, very interesting.
Yes, it's not on that 4th day.
Yeah.
But he's the son of Knowles. The very same birthday.
The very same birthday. And you were an only child?
An only child.
Yeah. And how did that hit you at the time?
I didn't notice it that much because I had my cousins there at the cross.
Yes.
And I spent most of my time there.
Right.
And I learned to read before I went to school, listening to them doing their lessons.
Yeah, of course. And that's a plus.
A plus, that's right.
It is, of course. And that's the, I suppose, the advantage big families had, and there were a lot of big families at that time.
Well, there was a lot. My grandfather was inside. He was a shoemaker, and he was getting leather. And the clerk and himself had a chat, and he says, "Brian, how many children have you?" "Have 14. God, he says, "I never heard of a bigger family." Well, there's a man behind me. He says, "They have a lot more."
Yeah.
And would I meet him? He'd be coming up. He was wild from Ballabody.
That's right.
There was 18 of them there. 18 or 19 of them.
My goodness.
And the name is gone.
My goodness.
The Boy Scouts now are in the
Oh,
the
yeah.
bikers.
Yeah. Well, they'll find big house, of course.
Yeah.
The bikers.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, the bikers. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Noni, I'll come to you next now, Noni, and just ask you about the same question.
I was born the 27th of November 1932.
The year of the Congress.
I'm in my 80th year now.
Very good, very good.
And there was about 9 in my family at first, but then babies died and that, but we were left with 7.
Right.
So they're all gone now, all to myself and my older sister.
Right. And all dead except yourself and a sister, right?
Yeah.
And do you meet very often?
Well, we used, but she don't know me now no more.
Yeah. And back to Tom, then, and back to both of you really. Have you any memories of the Santa days? Did Santa come to you when you were?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. And what kind of things, toys did he bring you at that time?
Well, my aunts used to send me sweets and different things. I had an aunt in Stillorgan in Dublin. She always taught me to send me sweets. And
right.
And
but the centi now, or the stocking.
Yeah. And what age were you, Tom, when you stopped believing in Santa? Would you have any idea? What age were you by the time you copped on, as they say, about Santa?
Well, we used to, my cousin and myself used to have chats about it.
Oh.
And that did he exist at all?
Oh yeah. But you never said anything publicly.
Well, no, we didn't.
No. You kept it. Kept it.
But we had one, myself and my cousin, and we used to be walking to school.
Yeah.
But we had one trying experience one morning.
Right.
We were in 1932. We were heading for school, and facing over the end of the wood, we saw this 2 elephants come walking along the road, and we tried to get in over the ditch, but the man was beckoning us on. The driver of them.
Yeah.
Duffy Circus was moving from Newport to Cappamore.
Oh, right.
They asked here that Duffy Circus was in Newport because they were building the church and the priest objected to the going in there.
Oh, right.
So we used to get up to see the circus person.
Yeah.
They came from Keenway at the Ironway every other time.
And so you saw a bit of history.
And we saw this huge animal, two huge animals
Yeah.
come, and God almighty, we were trying to get over the fence, but the man was beckoning us on back and go to us.
And that's
He was after walking him from Newport.
yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned John Duffy Circus. I'm from down West Cork,
Yeah, we
and
do in
John
Manway.
Duffy was in the Manway, and I often see his grave in the Manway.
He's
And
dead, so.
yeah, he's buried in the
Yeah.
church grounds in the Manway.
Oh, yeah.
And they lived there and for a number of years, and they were very well known. They always performed on Easter Sunday before they left the Manway.
That's right,
Yeah.
that's right.
So, Noni, how about you and
Yeah, we had a
Santa?
crane over the fire,
Right.
in a big open fire with
Yeah.
the crane. We used to hang our stockings on the crane,
Right.
and you got up in the morning and you maybe found some little small doll or something,
Yes.
and a few sweets, and maybe an orange
Right.
if it was available.
And,
But there was no such thing as ties or
Oh,
anything.
no, no,
I
no.
never remember
Ah,
getting
yeah.
any ties or.
But she got
And
great.
into the bag we used to call them purties. If we got them in
Called them?
Purties.
Purty.
Purty.
A purty we got from Santi, a purty.
Yeah.
Purty.
And what is that's an Irish word?
I suppose so. You ever
Yeah.
hear of a purty little girl or purty,
Well, I did a purty,
purty
yeah.
cow or
Yeah.
I suppose it was something pretty. I
Right,
don't know.
right, right.
But that's what we used to call them, purties, yeah.
And then again, you had a big family, and were there younger people than you in the family?
There was one girl younger.
Yeah.
she
So,
died at
like,
9.
did they keep Santa secret for
Well,
you
they
because?
did, but then when my mother died, sure,
Oh,
and
yeah,
there was no
yeah.
one to bother whether the Santi came
Yeah,
or not,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
kind of really.
Right.
So it kind of died with her.
And then
I
after
was 10 that time, and
10 when your mother
yeah,
died. Yeah.
and kind of that was the finish of Santi did for me, sort of.
And then to school in
In Ain,
Iron, yes.
Walking.
How many miles roughly?
well, sure, I suppose 2. You
2
know
miles,
where
yeah.
the
Yeah.
Montessori
Yeah.
below, you know where Ain
Yeah.
school is. It was 2 good miles, I suppose.
And no lifts, no cars?
No, well, we lived from Michael Power in Ebbington. He used to be going out to Drumkeen. He was the creamery manager, I suppose. Was
Yes,
he?
yeah.
And he had a horse, a
Yeah.
lovely horse and trap. And if you were the first he met,
Yes.
he picked you up, but he didn't stop no more than for anyone else.
Right.
So
right.
he-
Right. So it was important to
He
be
took
the
you-
last on the
He
road.
took you to the Cross of Iron and dropped you there.
Yeah. Oh, well, that was nice. That was a
Yeah.
help.
Well, maybe once or twice in the week.
And then your school days, did you enjoy your
Oh,
school
I
days?
love school.
Yeah.
I love school. I'd cry if I couldn't go to school.
Right. And did you
Yeah.
miss many days?
No, I gave it
Yeah.
a couple of years without ever missing a day.
And had you a thing that time, no need, where if you were missing for a day or two from school, that you'd have to bring an excuse?
No, just tell them that
Yeah.
you were sure you wouldn't have any written excuse.
Right,
or
yeah.
anything,
We used to have
no.
a written excuse.
Yeah,
And that, because I suppose... I
you
don't
were
know.
tougher.
We were tougher breed of people, I suppose. And Tom, would you like, had you to bring an excuse if you were missing for a day or two?
I went to school at I was, when I was 6 years of age, but Mr. Maher sent me home again because I was not at my birthday. I told them,
One fully 6, I suppose.
yes.
Oh, you weren't, yes, I know,
And,
yeah.
the next day anyway, he sent back word to pick up to school to go on, carry on.
Yeah,
That he'd put me in the book.
all right.
But
Yes,
the guard came into school and examined, called us out and why we were absent and all the rest of it.
All right,
yes,
yeah.
oh,
Explanation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
And was there any, have you any recollection of anyone being very bad and having, say, 50 days off school in the year or anything
Well,
like
I
that?
wouldn't think so, no.
No, yeah.
No.
But they would have a lot more days than you'd have off.
Oh, sure.
Well,
People had
Yeah.
coats or shoes
Yeah.
or anything then. They
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
stay at home when the weather was bad.
And generally speaking, I suppose it was bad weather or maybe flus or something
Yeah.
that kept children at home.
I guess or picking spuds.
Picking spudge or that.
or
the
putting
mums.
turf.
The what?
my
Oh,
cousin had a mum
oh, yes, yeah. Well, that was a reason enough, of course, yeah.
and I had no mums.
I just,
So we hugged each other so that I'd get the mums.
and how did it go?
And I got the mums
Good.
from the organ
Yeah.
and I hadn't to go to school then for certain at a time.
And did you pass them on to anybody else?
Well, I suppose I did pass them on to everyone.
Yeah.
But
You weren't into girls that time at all, I suppose?
well,
were you?
not, No, not into general snow.
Not yet. I know, but like if you were to see to be another way of passing them on.
Exactly. But no, we had certain landmarks in on the road going to school.
Right.
We had Dillon Stone Wall, we had Into the Wood.
Oh yes.
We had the Dees Cross.
Yes.
And we had the Hill of the Road.
Right.
And then we had White's Hill.
Yeah.
Dundon's Bridge.
We had Mrs. Malachy's.
Yes.
The flood came out on the road.
Yes.
But the bus ran the road here in 1932 from Kilkenny. 3 buses went on the road.
Per day.
Per day.
Yeah.
The IOC, Daly's bus and the Green bus.
Right.
But the IOC was the only bus that stayed going because it was a company.
Oh,
the others were private and they pulled out.
Yeah.
And we get up to school.
Yeah.
We didn't like the idea because the flood would be out above at Malachy's and we couldn't cross it. But when we were in the bus we had to, and you'd get up to the roof for a penny.
Right.
A penny.
And your method of going to school was Shanksmere.
Shanksmere.
Yeah. And you mentioned there at the start that you corrected me on the pronunciation of Capanoke.
Capanoke, yeah.
Yeah, and that could you give us an idea? I forgot how enlarge on that. Give us an idea why it was called Capanoke.
Because the dwarf lived inside in the bog.
And that is the
Noke, yeah.
Yeah, the Noke, yeah.
And the giant lived in Borman's Hill.
Yes.
And the dwarf killed the giant and he married his wife.
Oh, yeah.
And
so
well, that was the story Willie O'Brien used to tell us about it.
Right.
But Willie O'Brien now was a wonderful man.
Yeah.
He lived in the locality.
Yes.
And he always had the news of the day and the amount of people he was related to, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And himself and his wife would go to Maloo well, and they'd always take my mother with them.
Right.
And Willie had arrived back with him. Mrs. O'Brien had taken the makings of a lunch for him.
Yeah.
The next thing Willie had arrived back, he'd be gone off from him. He'd arrived back in with some lady, and no come to the thing, and Mrs. O'Brien used to be upset because she wouldn't have included it in the menu.
Oh yes, yeah.
But he was a wonderful storyteller.
Yes.
And he told us about all the gold that's buried in the Townland of Ra.
In the Townland of Ra?
Yeah.
That's where your wife was born?
I was rich.
No, my wife was born in Rawood.
Oh, Rawood. Oh, there's a difference.
And
I see.
There's a division in the fields.
Yes.
But the division between Ra and Rawood is the Crooked Ditch that starts there at the cross and runs, goes in through White's Yard and down and ends up with Othmel Care.
Do you have it all off, Tom?
Well, I'm not enough in the place.
Yes, but you have a great memory, Tom, and that's why we're here this morning, really. You know, to pick up on that.
To his school.
Punishment at school, Tom, did you receive any of it? Or?
Mr. Maher was a gentleman, quiet man, but Mr. Welch was a brute.
A brute?
I saw him beating John Thompson. And I knew John Thompson and his mother used to go around.
Yeah.
She was worked with different places and she brought along her son John.
Yeah.
And they stayed in different places. And he went to Maloo school. And Mr. Welch was baiting him one morning and he had him thrown across the desk.
And with a stick or a strap? Or?
Oh, stick.
Stick, yeah.
He used to say, oh poor me, oh poor me. And the more he said, more poor me, the more vicious Welch we got at him. And I often said to myself, was it because he knew his father wasn't knocking about that he'd come to it. But I saw the teacher being challenged at the school gate by people, women and men.
Yeah. Because of punishment.
Because of punishment. Because of punishment.
Yeah.
And he'd turn on you over cold morning and give you an awful doing of it.
Right.
And it quit myself. And rats came up through the hole in the wall.
Yes.
In the school.
Right. In the school itself.
In the school, yes, above in the small room. In the
yeah. And did you put down rat poison or did you?
Well, I don't know. Did they bother about him?
Yeah.
But the school should never have been off because it was a building, an ideal building now for it would be a suitable hall for anything. And the grant certificate, why it was knocked, I don't know.
Yeah. I was going to ask you that on later on about the demolition of the school because other parishioners have the same view as you have. that it was a pity that was not.
Well, I remember the old chapel yard. We used to kick football there. Karen Purcell used to buy us a football.
That's where the present
Well, the present
Winton Theatre Hall is, yeah.
And the school would have stood for Winton Theatre Hall.
Oh, yeah.
But we used to play football there, and it was St. Lawrence's School. Then there was another church over the back road, going from Ryan Whistler's Cross for the 5 roads.
Oh, yes,
there was
yeah.
a church place and some place around there.
Yes.
But the barracks, the first cars in Maroe were above where Frank Ryan has the house now at Whistler's Cross.
All right.
And when the land was started in Abington,
Yes.
they were taken down to Abington.
Oh, I see.
And the British set up a police barracks
Right.
there.
Yeah.
And that's how.
And you mentioned there now about 2 men being teachers there. Had you any lady teacher at the school?
Oh, we
then?
had
Yeah.
Miss Byram and Miss O'Leary.
All right.
Miss Byram lived in the Maroe School was unusual because it had teachers' residence.
Oh, yes.
And
They're
Miss
still there
Byram
today.
lived in one house, and Miss O'Leary lived in the other
Yeah.
house. And Miss O'Leary eventually became the principal of the school, but
Right.
she used to suffer from what ailment made it across water. She used to fall,
Oh, yeah.
and but she'd have to be what they call resuscitated.
Yeah.
But that people were able to manage her and do
Right.
certain people. Jimmy Maguire now was a great man to manage her.
Yeah.
But you had NKM then came from Listowel, not Kerry manufacture,
Yeah.
and it supplied the shops in Maroe.
What did you call it?
NKM, not Kerry manufacture.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I was shown the
Swedes,
place
just
where they
bring
had that
swedes.
factory in Listowel.
Oh, right.
Because Willie Wickstead pointed
Yeah.
it out to me. And NKM,
Yeah.
not Kerry manufacture.
And would they stop at the school or would they
They serve the shops.
serve the shops? Yeah.
And the Bantams built the village in Maroe,
Yeah.
and they had it every trade that was needed above in the,
Yeah.
in the castle. They had it. There was
The forge and the
the forge
dressmakers
and
anything there.
Dundon, Sean English's house was built as a pub, but the Bantams wouldn't allow, they only allowed the one pub in the village.
Right.
In the village.
Yeah.
And in my younger days, the village has changed completely because it was absolutely down the street.
Yeah.
There was 2 motor cars, Cusicks in Abington and Frank Carty,
Right.
and that was all.
Some news from the clubs. Not a lot of activity yet after the Christmas recess. The Marion Club have resumed their Wednesday night meetings last week with bingo, 45 card games, tea and a chat. New members can join by contacting any member of the club or just coming along on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Noni Ryan and Jack Handley are out sick at the moment and we wish them a speedy recovery. Maura Kirby has joined, becoming the newest member at the present time. Maroe AFC. The B team won the first trophy of the 2011-2012 season by defeating Kuna 2-0 in the Division 4 League final. The A team are mid-table in the league. In the most recent game, they drew 1-1 with Kennedy Park. They defeated Granville in the second round of the Lawson Cup. Underage. Under 10 boys are only 1 point away from winning the league title. They are currently undefeated for the season. The second under 10 team are also in the contention for league honours. Under 11, 13 and 14 are currently involved in league action, which is progressing well. Underage girls, Last weekend was a landmark. Under 10, 12 and 14 and 16 were all in action. Over 50 girls participated. Under 16 girls drew 1-1 with Crewe. Under 14s defeated Ashling and Acotty 4-0. Grania Regan and Anya Cook scored 2 each. Under 12s lost 3-1 to Kilmallock. Anna Madigan scoring Marew's goal. Under 10s played a blitz with Kilmallock. Under 13 boys drew 1-1 with Mianus. Saoirse Barry and Grania Regan have been selected to play for the county under 14s. A great honour for them and for Marew. Now GA news. Marew Boher GA Club. The senior team will be resuming training in a couple of weeks. 4 Marew Boher girls have been selected to play for the county under 14 Gaelic football team. They are Saoirse Barry, Aoife Barry, Grania Regan and Shauna Ryan. That's the news. Now we'll go to the 45 drive. The game of 45 is very popular with card players around Marew, and for many years. You heard Tom Holmes earlier describe card schools, as they were known, in private houses and in a special shack in Capanook. Nowadays, the game is played in a grand scale every Tuesday night in the Winton na Tíre Hall in Marew. Breda Hearn and Dan Shanahan will tell us more.
Yeah, we just wanted to say anyway that we're here all year round, except for maybe one night this year is all we missed. And Breda, you can tell him where they're coming from.
We have people coming from Clapham, Claphamore, June, Ula, Boher, Newport, Ballydare. That's Boher again, we'll say Boher.
We have 2 Bohers, one of them is Boher and the other one is Boher. And we have Killaloo and Monaleen and O'Gunallow and O'Brien's Bridge, Dalla and Palace. That's where they're all coming from, and if we left someone out, we're sorry.
Well, I played cards here back in the 1960s, so it's going on a long time.
That's nearly 50 years or so. And
we have
regular gamblers here like all the time, and except for the few that have gone, we'll say.
A lot of our good gamblers are gone for their eternal rewards.
We couldn't start mentioning names. There's a good, I know, but there's a good few good gamblers, and if we started, well, Paddy Ransford is a fine gambler, and there's a lot of great gamblers. Well, let's see. Kathleen Costello is a good gambler. I don't know, I could be mentioning them now there, and I'd be leaving someone out.
Pascal Branch, another
good gambler, yeah, and
Philip Branch.
And Pascal is part of our committee here as well. And all the grants are good gamblers anyway. And,
special nights as well. We have special nights.
Tuesday night.
Every Tuesday night.
Every Tuesday night. And
summer and winter.
Summer, winter. We're one of the few that's run summer and winter, like.
All year round.
What else? And sure, like I said, we have a big gamble for the Marion Club on the end of the year, we'll say before Christmas. And we do have about 17 or 18 tables, and there's tea for all. Tea and sandwiches for everybody, and we have a free raffle dinner on Christmas as well. And we have a good few prizes on that, you know, on a door ticket, like. So at the moment now we have 9 tonight. The average, we have 10. And the average is 11, 10 and 11, like. That's the average now the whole time. And I don't know, sure, everyone seems to be enjoying themselves anyway, but that's why they're staying coming. And €6 to play per head.
We run a jackpot starting with 13, and when you go down to 10 games, we give away the jackpot of €100.
And it goes 13, 12, 11, and it goes on the fourth night. No matter how many games they have.
Yeah.
So we start again on 13. And that's happening the whole year round. When you skip one night last year. What night was it?
This year, just after Christmas.
Just after Christmas.
We go ahead the 12 months of the year. Yeah.
And our players then, they're very good to come. Like they come through frost and snow. And
they're from all over. They're from
Killascully,
6 Mile Bridge, Killascully, Newport, Nina, Killaloo.
O'Brien's Bridge.
Yeah.
Cabamore. I'm from Cabamore myself.
Yeah.
And I help out Breda here on Tuesday night. And they're coming from all around, like a good few people here from Maru as well.
There is, yeah.
And at Christmas time, then we have a kind of a free raffle. Breda brings out a handful of prizes, spot prizes, and free raffle, and that could be 20 minutes, you know. Then we have big nights here during the year for Marion Club.
Marion Club. We run a big gamble for the Marion Club.
And we have tea for all on that night.
Tea and sandwiches.
Tea and sandwiches for everybody and loads.
This 45 drive is running since 1960. I used to come here in 1960 when I was only nearly a child. Yeah, back in the 60s. Yeah.
In dim times there used to be 20, 25, 30 tables.
A lot of the old gamblers are dead, unfortunately.
And gone. And the youngsters are not inclined for gambling anymore.
No.
You know, they don't learn how to play much anymore, the youngsters like. Cut again clubs and John Blackwell's cut 10 of spades. So Liz wins the deal. Oh. Liz is dealing the cards now, 3 to each player first. Then she'll give him 2 more to make it 5. She turns up a spade, so spades are trumps, 9 of spades, and Michael is going to play first. Keep quiet, you now. Michael is bending and lifting, and he robs for the 9 of spades. And he plays the 5 of spades. Knave is gone. King, 4, 7 of spades. All
he's up the table.
Yes. And he lays the ace of spades. There's only one other person answering to the ace of spades, the deuce of spades. He's decided now what he's going to do. He will decide, yes, he plays the 6 of spades. And that wins as well. So, and he plays the 9 of spades. He finishes with the 8 of diamonds, and Larry Kindy moves in from the right with the king of diamonds. So it's 25 a trick to Michael. Now Michael is going to deal. Michael is shuffling the cards now, and Liz is after cutting them. Did she cut him in the right place? We'll know in a minute. You have a choice whether you cut him or run him. So Liz cut him. Michael is giving him out in 3s and 2s, and he's turning up the 4 of diamonds. And Jim plays the 7 of spades, and Larry Kindy bends and lifts and robs for the ace of diamonds and posts the ace of diamonds to the high man.
What came out there?
Spades led first day. And he lays back the 4 of diamonds, Larry, after winning with the ace of diamonds. And the 25 man makes a trick with the king of diamonds. And he comes back the knave of diamonds. And there's nobody, only one person answering to that knave of diamonds. And he plays back the king of hearts. And that's game. So Michael and his father John makes the game from 25. They get 20. Well done, lads.
And now we'll have the thought for the week by Father Simon.
When I was younger, I felt that Christianity was something I had to achieve, almost something I had to do. Go to confession, go to communion, avoid impure thoughts. This is how I framed it. I recall doing school retreats and feeling that the more I read, the better silence I kept, the better retreat I would make. The reward for carrying out my spiritual program would be eternal life, but failure could lead me to hell. It's only as I've grown older that I recognize that Christianity is much more about God's achievement than mine. The following of a person rather than the carrying out of a set of prescribed duties. What matters is not so much what I do, but rather what God does. It is a question of surrendering to His providence rather than me setting out on a crusade of personal self-conquest, an ongoing process of being led to fullness of life by the power of His Spirit. Today, if you should hear His voice, harden not your hearts. And in the end, the test for us all will not be the purity of our dogmatic faith or our efforts at fasting or praying. The evidence will show in our lives the divine life shining through us, which is contagious and will be recognized by all. There was a young boy who was with his mother in a church. She was lighting candles and visiting certain shrines, and he was busy examining everything else. After a while, everything went quiet. She looked up, and there he was, standing, looking up at the stained glass windows. And the sun was streaming through them. And he stood fascinated by the different colours dancing on the floor. His mother approached him, and he started asking lots of questions. There was a statue on the right, and he wanted to know who that was. She told him it was Holy God. Close by there was another statue, and again he inquired who that was, and she said, "That's God's Holy Mother." Next he pointed to the stained glass windows. "Who are they?" he inquired. And she said, "They're the saints." The boy pondered and said no more. The next day at school in religion class, the topic under discussion happened to be saints. What was a saint? The class was asked. Quick as a flash, our friend put up his hand knowingly. "They're the ones that let the light shine through."